Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, at magandang gabi to all our viewers and listeners out there. You are currently tuned into INCRadio, Texas, and it feels good to be back. It's been weeks, and currently, if you can hear in my voice, I am recovering because it has been a very busy month. I hope everybody also had a very busy month. I know it's summer and it's almost about to end, which is our topic for today. We're gonna go from summer routines to going back to our day-to-day routines, 9 to 5, school or work. But before we get on ahead for today's show, I will not forget to introduce myself today. I am your host today, Sister May Zorgosa from the locale of Sugarland, District of Texas. And it is time to 1:31 p.m. And it is kind of sunny outside, which is the perfect day to go outside and play, maybe go swimming. And of course, I am never alone, never alone with my co host today, Brother Justin. How is everything?
Hello, Sister Mayfan. Everything's fine here. Hello, everyone, to our viewers and listeners. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of our viewers, listeners here tuning in with us here on INCRadio Texas Satellite Studio. It's currently 1:32 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Sister Mayfan.
I feel like every time I pass this, 1 minute will pass. So I'm gonna pass it to Sister Savannah. How is everything?
Hello, everyone. My name is Sister Savannah, and I am from the locale of San Antonio here in the District of Texas. And I'm doing fine, sister. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Hopefully soon enough I get my voice back. And of course our favorite our favorite panelist, Kuya Jerick, how is everything?
I'm doing well, Sister Mayfan. Brother Jarek from the locale of Universal City.
Welcome back. I feel like to all our viewers and listeners, especially our viewers, you would have seen Kuya Jerick like in the past shows already. And of course, as I said, our topic is about switching our routines from our summer routines to our normal day-to-day routines now that we're going back to work. Our kids, not our kids, because I don't have kids, but to those who have kids, to those who are students, to those who are working, we're going back to our normal day-to-day normal day-to-day routines. So, but before we head on to that, I believe our hashtag challenge is back. Am I right, Brother Justin? Yep, he's saying yes, yes. All right, so if you're not familiar with that, so what we do is when you're watching, once we do our question of the day, which is in about a few seconds, don't forget to give a shout out to your locale or your district. You can put hashtag like mine and say hashtag Sugarland, District of Texas. And then by the end of the, oh no, not on the next show, we will tell y'all who won. So go ahead and do your hashtag challenge. Hashtag Houston, hashtag Sugarland, hashtag that is so Filipino. Hashtag UC. All right. So speaking of question of the day, now that we're going to our topic, our question of the day is that now that summer's about to end, how do you transition from the summer routine to a more structured work school routine? So to read that again. And you can also see it down in the comment section, I believe. Live chat, I believe. Now that summer's about to end, how do you transition from the summer routine to a more structured work or school routine? All right. You know what? If we're going to ask our viewers, might as well ask our panelists about this question. Sister Savannah, how do you transition to a more structured work or school routine now that summer's done?
So, I'm currently in my last year of high school, and this
Woohoo!
has been last year, finally graduating. But how I transition is that I'm more of like a to-do list and like planner person. So I have, a planner app on my phone, and I write down all the list of events that I have for this upcoming semester. And I kind of try to figure out for my teachers what school supplies I may need, because I feel like those lists that we get from our school, they always give us too much supplies that we need, so we don't really need all of them. So I'd rather just ask my teachers for forwardly and see what I really need. So yeah. What about you?
Sister, Sister Savannah, I can't agree with you more. Yes, whenever you get those school supply lists that you would get either from the store or online, they say too much. Like, let's say in the third grade, they'll ask you to bring like six boxes of tissue paper, and 3 boxes of markers, but really you only ended up using like one of those, and then so
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
so one thing that I learned in high school, especially in college, just wait until like the very last minute. I know that might not seem advisable, but from the professors, you will just hear them say something like, "Oh yeah, you just need like a 1 inch binder. You'll be fine for the class. Oh yeah, you don't need that book. I know it says that, but we have the books right here. You'll be fine." But yeah, just wait until closer, at the very least, closer to the first day of class once you meet your teachers or your instructors.
Well, that's from a student's perspective, because on the show today we have a parent's perspective. But I know because my dad, when I was growing up, my dad was always the early person. Like month into summer, I mean month into going back to school, he would be like notebooks, pencils, sharpeners, bags, all those kinds of stuff. So let's ask the parents' perspective. How do you transition from summer routine with the kids going to a more structured work and school? Because now you're taking them to school and you're taking yourself back to work. So how is that, Kuya Derek?
Yes, Sister Mayfan. So actually, my kids are still very young, so they haven't really started school yet. However, I think the things are still the same. Both of my children, we have activities for them. One of them goes to daycare. My other child, she has autism, so we take her to ABA services, and it's essentially a whole day event. But same thing, I would assume. They provide us with a list of things that we need to uh, have them bring to whether it's daycare or to ABA. And there really isn't a transition because it's a year long thing for both of them. But I think, at least for us, the transition comes when we go out of town for a little bit. Uh, and it's always trying to get back into the routine of things. So, what we do when we transition, especially we're out of town for a week or two, we try to get home. We try to leave at least one day in between when we get home, and then I start work, or the children start with daycare and ABA once again, just to have that one day of just getting everything back together. I think that's kind of important to transition, just because it's difficult, especially if we travel somewhere there's a different time zone. But with the things that we find useful is ensuring that we're always communicating with their providers, making sure that they always have things that they need, extra clothes. And like I said, there's really no transition because it's year round, but it's that constant communication to make sure that we always have every day. For one, my youngest daughter, who does daycare, they always provide a list of the things that she's done, and activities they've done, and if she needs more extra clothes because she got messy, or diapers. So that's kind of a nice thing that they do, so we already know every day what to prepare. But yeah, that's kind of what we do, is just getting into that routine. I think that's the key to a lot of families. Just making, as people, we're creatures of habit, right? There's that popular saying. So when we get into that rhythm and habit, I think it makes it a little bit easier to do the things that we need to do as parents, as people going to work, and as also children going to school.
That's true. Now that I can relate because I work in that field. So, but yeah, I feel like in that routine, I feel like it's just more of adjustment once things progress. So that's when you change up. So I really dove into that topic real quick because now I'm gonna ask, how was your summer? Was there any highlight to your summer? I'm gonna go ask Kuya Justin this one because he like,
My summer was great, Sister Mayfan. In June, I went to Hawaii to visit my family over there. We were there for about a week, and then yeah, while we were there, we stayed there for a week. We visited family. I caught the cool sights over there in Hawaii, so that was fun. And then at work, we've actually been having some summer celebration events, and that was really fun with my participants. They were just celebrating the summertime. They prepared food for each other, and then it's now and then now that that's about to end, we're getting ready for our fall season. Like we also are about to have a school supply drive at work for those students who would need them. So that's really nice. And of course, I think the biggest highlight was, of course, uh, celebrating the 110th anniversary of the church during our in concert last weekend. I'm sure you enjoyed that too, right, Sister May fan?
I sure did. That's the main reason why I'm under the weather. I put in too much. But it's always fun. It's always great. It wasn't. It's fun because you get to see a lot of people, and it's also fun because you got to meet a lot more people, a lot more talented people, and you get to learn a lot too. Speaking of learning, okay, I'm going back to Kuya Jer because he did say that he has been traveling for the summer. So I'm very curious to know, like, is there any like things that you learned as you travel? It's like since you're not transitioning, it's just progressing. So I bet you learned a lot from ongoing traveling for the summer.
Yes, Sister Mayfan, definitely. I every time it's as many parents know, when you travel with little children, it's very difficult. So where we went earlier this summer, we went back home to Seattle, Washington, and so we flew there, and it's just navigating with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and then just carrying their luggage and carrying our luggage, and it's just the wife and I, so it's they're both a handful. So that's a challenge in itself, but the only way you find out is just by doing it. But we survived. We're back here. um, but it's kind of one of those you kind of try to plan out. We actually, what I think what helped us out, because we saw it as something that helps some other parents out. We bought this carry-on luggage that our daughter can ride on, and she just loved it. It made it so much easier because we're just pulling her along the airport while we just carried our other daughter. So just those little things that are out there that help out parents. I think that was a really huge help because our daughter was having fun instead of her, trying to chase her down. We just put her on the riding um, carry on, and we just literally dragged her all over, and she was just having fun riding it. And then our other daughter, we only brought one. We should have brought two because our other daughter, our younger one, wanted to ride it too. So next time we'll have that. But it's a fun experience. It's stressful, but when you get to where you're going, it's always fun to relax a little bit from work, and then just spending time with family back home in Seattle. Yeah, it's every time we travel, it's something new, but it's always an adventure because you're spending time with family and your children. Yeah, it's stressful, but at the same time, there's fun things that you look forward to.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, Brother Jarek. Sounds like, even though it was small, it looks like you and your family have had an eventful summer. And before we move on to our topic, Sister Mayfan, looks like we do have quite a bit of viewers and listeners in our live YouTube chat, especially those who have answered our question of the day, which was, now that the summer is about to end, how do you transition from the summer routine to a more work or school routine? And we also have our very own CFO overseer, Brother Matt Call Talent, who says, send the kids to bed early so they can get used to waking up early. And we also have a similar answer from Tess Forever, who says, sleep early 1 week before school starts to start the school routine. That's a really good way of getting used to it. We also have our very own district supervising minister, Brother Noel Correta Tuvo, who's tuning in with us, who says, greetings to all brethren in Texas. Happy watching. Well, and we also have Linda Bug tuning in from Universal City, and also Brother Michael Bug also tuning in from Universal City. John Caldwell. I'm seeing quite a bit of Universal City users from here. So if you're from the Universal City, please continue making some noise in our live YouTube chat. And we also have Irene Talioko, who says hello to all of our viewers. Thank you for supporting INC Radio from the local congregation of Killeen. And we also have Roger Lester Palabasan tuning in from Sugarland. Thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in with us here on INC Radio. So again, if you have not answered our question of the day, which is, Now that the summer is about to end, how do you transition from the summer routine to a more structured work or school routine? Please go ahead and send your answers to our live YouTube chat. We'll be sure to read them at some point during our show. So, Sister Mayfan, what else do we have for today?
I believe we have a game that you have prepared.
Yes, that's right. We
If
do.
you're ready for the game.
Oh yes,
If
I'm ready.
not,
I'm ready. I'm just not sure if our viewers and listeners are ready. And while we are getting this ready, to our amazingly talented Queer Tech, if you can have us displayed in tile views, so that way the viewers can also see us having fun while playing this. So here is what we are going to do. So here's what's going to happen. So a pair of supplies or scenarios will be displayed, and the participants here, and as well as the hosts, um, they we must choose which one you prefer. So and I'm actually glad that Sister Savannah mentioned school supplies. Whatever you see is recommended might be a little bit much than what you really need. So that's what we're gonna do this for. So let's see what supplies you prefer to use as we switch to a more structured season. So are y'all ready?
do we need an essay for this? Or do we just choose?
Yes, you must do it. You must end the essay with APA citation.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
so this or that. Are you someone who likes to write or type your notes, or are you more of a listener? Okay, this is taking a little longer than I thought.
Both. Both. Wait, no,
Both.
both.
Okay,
I agree with
I had
Sister
to.
Nathan. I'm like a both.
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 Yeah, I feel like if I
But yeah.
record a lecture and then like listen to it and then type what's being said in the lecture, it's like refreshing my brain like twice. I'm like listening to it
Okay,
and then I'm typing what I'm hearing. So I'm like a both.
okay, yeah,
I'm both, but I don't listen to notes. I listen to music while I do notes.
yeah. Me, I'm a little bit of the opposite because, of course, during the pandemic, when our professors would record lectures, those did help a lot. But see, I'm more of someone who likes to, who learns better when I look and touch something.
Ah.
So if you look at my books, there are like a lot of words, they're all in different colors. There are a bunch of drawings, like that's how
You're
I learn.
that person.
Yes, yes. Like I'm the one person in class, like if I'm writing and the teacher switches PowerPoint. No, 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 go back. I need to get that. I need to get those last three words. Okay, keep going. What about you, Brother Jarek? Like let's say you're in a meeting. Which one would you rather do?
Well, of course, listening first, but I'm a writer, so I like to try to. It's I don't have the best memory. I'm not as young as I used to be, so writing things down is definitely always helpful.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
What about this one?
Mechanical pencil for me.
Oh, that was
That was
quick.
fast. It's like, whoa. Okay.
Sister Maven, Sister Savannah, how about
I
you?
agree with mechanical because the way that regular pencils always need to be sharpened, or like they just like, or at least the ones that I use, they easily break, or just like I don't like the wood feeling. It just kind of leaves a
But
dent
that's
more
that's
than
the fun
mechanical.
part, watching them get
Yeah.
sharpened.
I'm a regular person. I'm a regular pencil.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
that.
yeah. Me, I prefer regular pencils because I'm someone who likes to press hard on pencils. But
Oh,
speaking
that
about
is fair.
pencils, pencils or pens.
Pencils.
Pens.
Erasable
I
pens.
always make mistakes.
Erasable friction pens. Friction pens. Life
I just learned that was a
saver.
new word last weekend.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah,
Friction
yeah, me.
pens, they're lifesavers.
Okay, but for me, when it comes to these two, pencils if I'm doing math, but everything else pens because I
I
can. It's
agree.
easier for me to see.
Yes.
And
Wait.
there's a specific pen that I need to use, and I'll show that to our hosts here once we're done with the show. But now that we're moving forward, so are you someone who likes the one strap backpacks or one strap bags or two strap backpacks?
Hmm.
Two strap.
Two strap because I think
Two.
Two strap.
you can do both if
Two.
you want. If you have two strap, you can just take one off. And if you're feeling one strap, but if you want two strap, you can just do two.
That's a
For
smart one.
for me, okay. Everyone here has seen me in person, so you know when I wear my backpack, I look like a turtle. I need the two straps because it balances the weight out. Yeah, it balances the weight out on my back. Like if you're only using one strap, I hope you just have like a laptop or just a book in there.
Like, I still do too, because I'm just too lazy. And I usually just carry everything in my backpack and my hands are free.
Okay, but when it comes to learning or reading, are you someone who prefers hard copies or digital copies?
Hard copies. Straight up hard copies.
Okay,
It
okay.
To me, it depends. If I'm going to be writing, I prefer hard copies because it's kind of hard to highlight things on digital. But if it's just something short, digital copies because it's easier to search things there as well.
That's true.
It's
I
Control
agree with
F, right?
both
The
of
Control
you.
F
Yeah.
setting.
Control
Yes.
F.
So
Yes, I
yeah.
agree.
So to our viewers and listeners, if there's a certain passage that you need to look up, just hold
Control
Control
F.
F and then type in a keyword that you need to look for. That is
Mhm.
very helpful. For
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
me,
I think
I'm both, but like all the reasons you have mentioned are valid. But I also like digital copies because you can't lose them.
agreed. You
You
can't
can
really
lose
do.
books, but you can't lose digital copies. That's why
The
whenever I'm
amount of digital copies I've
And you can't
lost.
damage digital copies too.
exactly you can't spill coffee on them. You can't accidentally throw them in the trash. No, it stays on a
Right.
cloud.
Yes.
Okay, but what about okay? And this is something I find a little new to mention. Are you someone who prefers printer paper or lined paper?
What
Lined.
about grid paper?
Oh, grid paper.
Yeah,
Grid.
I feel
That's
like
okay.
grid,
Yeah, grid's lined paper.
it's very
I'm lined.
yeah, I like grid because I feel like lines sometimes like college rule or I don't know what other rule it is, but there's like multiple rules. I feel like some of them are like too big, the gaps are too big. But then grid is just like perfectly like, spaced and you can choose
Mm,
how far, you know.
Oh, looks like our CFO
I'm
over.
aligned.
Looks like brother Matt Carl Talon says hard copies. Then you scan them for annotating.
Mm. A way to
So
make
Um,
much work. So much work.
very inventive.
The
and
picture.
I know that we brought up studying. So, are you someone that likes to study alone, or do you prefer group study?
Mm.
uh,
I feel like as someone who like does both regularly, because me and my friends last year we did a lot of like study sessions together at like cafes, and I feel like I benefited from. I feel like I don't know. I think because I'm able to do a group study, because I know some people they can't really do group studies. Like they get distracted very easily.
So,
They
how many hours of those group studies were y'all actually studying?
you better not. You
That is
better
very
not.
true. At least for me, I think because everyone was like just talking about it, they were like, yeah, Savannah, she's always like locked in whenever we're group studying. I feel like we're the ones who always get the most distracted. So yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
you're
Okay.
smart,
so I
girly.
think I can do both, but I prefer group study because I feel like if there's other people who are also like studying around me, then obviously it'll influence me and like pressure me, not pressure me, but like, convince me to study more.
Okay.
We
All
love
right.
that.
So, I know math is everyone's subject. So, when it comes to math,
No,
do you like using the calculator or no?
depends. Depends.
It always
Oh wait,
depends.
because okay, math. I need calculator, but I don't know how I did it. Physics was without calculator. I don't know
Oh
how I
my
did it.
goodness.
I was
That's
just
crazy.
writing
I've
on the
never heard
board and be
someone
like,
who doesn't use a calculator for physics. Oh my goodness.
I don't know
Yes.
how I did
Yes.
it.
You
But with
do.
math, I'm like, even with just addition, I need a calculator.
Oh.
Why? Why?
Because just to be safe, you need the calculator just to be safe, right,
Right.
Brother Jarek? Just to be safe.
So, of course, I'm a little old school. Calculators are useful, but not using them kind of exercises your brain a little bit. And I think that's very important that we don't get too
Ah,
lazy. That's just my speaking from an older person.
no, no, no. We like learning old school. There are a lot of different methods of learning things and getting the right result. Now, of course, when it comes to learning, we also need to recharge ourselves. So, of course, which of course requires food. So, do you prefer getting food from the mess hall or restaurant, or just getting food from home?
Home,
Home.
home, straight up home.
Yeah.
Unanimous
Same
home.
here.
Eating food from home is the
Food from
best
home.
feeling. Yes.
Everybody's home. 'Cause
You
It's
save money.
nah. Mm-hmm. You save
Exactly.
money, and you get to choose if it's healthy or not. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's school food and restaurant food. I'm like, mm, what are we doing?
Okay, all right. And I know Sister Savannah says she likes group studying, but when y'all study, do you study at someone's house or do you study at the library?
Home, because I
Mm.
just fall asleep in the library.
I'm quite the
Honestly.
opposite. If I study at home and like I'm in my room and my bed's just an inch away from me, I feel like I'm more prone to sleeping at my house more than the library.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I know. Justin's answer is gonna be library because he
Yes,
lives
it's
in
gonna
the
be
library.
library.
Yes, I agree. I
It's
need somewhere that isn't a place where I fall asleep.
I'm a home girly. I could play a show and study at the same time. I'm good. I don't know how I
yeah,
did it, but I did.
for me I like the library because it's just that setting.
Yeah, the
That's
atmosphere in there, everyone's busy doing something. It's just like, yeah.
Busy falling asleep.
yeah, like it's that setting that just helps you focus more. That's why I like studying at the library because when I study at home, I'm next to my bed, I'm next to the couch, and
That's what I said. Yeah,
that just means I'm gonna go to sleep.
exactly.
Okay. All right. All right. I think that's just about it. Okay, all right. So thank you to our viewers and listeners for tuning in with us, especially during our game. But before we end our show, of course, we do have a video showcasing some of the activities that I've been having here in the District of Texas. So, Kuya Tech, whenever you're ready, please play our video for CFO in action.
Here in the Ecclesiastical District of Texas, members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ, along with their non-member guests, gathered in various venues to participate in the district blood drive led by the SCAN organization. Members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ in the local congregation of Humble, Ecclesiastical District of Texas, along with their non-member guests, gathered in the chapel function hall to participate in their blood donation. Led by the members and officers of SCAN organization, brethren across the district participated in donating blood for the good of those in need. Led by the members and officers of the Society of Communicators and Networkers International, or SCAN, brethren willingly participated in donating blood for the good of those in need.
I think it's important to donate blood because there's a lot of people who could need it and can use it, and if we have extra to give, why not?
This event is also one way of telling people that this church loves our fellow men by way of donating blood.
The SCAN members and the brethren in the local congregation of Humble, Ecclesiastical District of Texas, were very joyful that they were able to extend much needed help to the community in fulfillment of Christ's teachings to love our neighbors. Thus, they are more inspired to be active and supporting on all the activities launched by the church. From Texas, I'm Mayfan Zaragoza for CFO Updates.
Let's see what else is happening in the District of Texas. In Austin and Corpus Christi, the Brethren held an INC cleanup drive in order to clean up their neighborhood for their fellow men. Moving our way to Houston, Texas, the Brethren there held an INC giving activity where they visited an elderly care home to present musical performances to the residents. Also in Houston, Texas, as well as San Antonio, the Brethren traveled to their local fire station to conduct an INC giving firefighters appreciation to show gratitude to the city fire department for all they do for their community. That's all we have for today. For CFO in Action, this is Brother Justin Talioga. And don't forget to subscribe to our INC Radio YouTube channel. Thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners who have tuned in with us today here on INCRadio Texas Satellite Studio. And before we end our show, of course, we can never forget to thank our district CFO overseer, Brother Archie Talons, our assistant district minister, Brother Chody Sampson, our district supervising minister, Brother Noel Caritativo, our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Endaya, our CFO coordinator and CEBSI CEO, Brother Angelo Aranu V. Manalo, and of course, we can never forget to thank our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for all your support in these programs, Paul. And before we end our show, let's see who else we have tuned in today here. We have Elizabeth Talents, who was tuning in during our game, and she says she prefers food from home. We have our resident minister, Brother Ramel Aquino, tuning in from Killeen, Texas, tuning in with us. Thank you so much to our viewers and listeners. And coming after this, we have INC Radio, Virginia.